The strongest man on earth is done for another year, so we're going to look back at 10 interesting facts about the competition's history. So the 5th year of the strongest man on earth, formerly the Sha Classic. This contest is growing every single year. Clearly one of the majors in the strongman calendar right now. What interesting facts have you got for us, Auntie Liz, on this one? There's only 5 years to go off.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton for me to work with, but I'd still think there's some interesting stuff in there.
I hope so.
Let's see. So as you said already, the strongest man on earth was known as the Sha Classic. It's been running for 5 years now, and in that time we've had 30 different athletes compete there, representing 10 different nations.
And I think one of the best things when it comes to the Sha Classic Strongest Man on Earth is that Brian does try to find the top athletes currently competing.
Yes.
He's not necessarily bringing just the big names. There was, I think, seven
new athletes
competing this year. He also has his qualifier, so the Sha Classic Open, which is a qualifier that anyone can enter around the world, and if they win that, they get the opportunity to compete in the big show the following year. So good opportunities, selecting the top athletes based off results going in other competitions around the world, and yeah, we do tend to find the absolute best competing in this one.
So there are only 2 athletes that have competed in all 5 of these competitions, and they are Trey Mitchell and Maxime Boudreau. Trey, of course, is a 2-time winner, so his best results were in 2021 and 2022 when he was first, and Maxime, so far, his best place was 2022 when he was 5th.
Interesting as well, considering Maxime came in as a reserve for this one.
He did.
And Trey came back from a torn Achilles.
I know, yeah.
And he actually did really well. I wasn't sure what kind of shape Trey was going to be in coming into this show. Obviously, his performance at Worlds wasn't the best for what we expect from Trey, but coming back from a torn Achilles is super tough. Him and his team have done an amazing job rehabbing from that injury. He's done super well, and it's good to see him back in shape.
So the strongest man on earth has fast become known as the heaviest competition on our strongman calendar each year. And I thought we could look and enjoy some of the heaviest lifts that we've seen so far there. Starting off with Alexei Novikov's 549 kilo hammer tie deadlift from the 2022 competition.
Yeah, from those higher pulls, Alexei is absolutely brilliant.
Good.
But I have to say, my favourite battle that I've seen at the Sha Classic on any type of deadlift was actually the first contest between JF Caron and Jerry Pritchett battling it out. Both of them, I think, broke the record at the time.
They did, but JF took the win in the end. The heaviest log we've seen lifted at the competition is 206 kilos. Luke Stoltman managed that in 2020, and Bobby Thompson and Trey Mitchell managed it in 2021.
Yeah, one thing we've seen just looking at the results is the logs are hard.
Yes.
A lot of people struggle more on these logs than they do maybe on their own logs in training.
Yeah.
Brutal, big, cumbersome logs. To lift that kind of weight is very impressive.
The heaviest standard height deadlift we've seen there is, of course, 450 kilos, and it was done raw with straps, and that was Thor Bjornsson just last weekend.
And let's be honest, he had more in him.
Oh, of course.
That was his second lift.
His second lift,
It looked comfortable. I'm interested to see what he could do if he really pushed it.
And the heaviest Atlas stone we've seen lifted at the competition is 250 kilos roughly. It's 550 pounds, and it was lifted by Austin Andrade, Trey Mitchell, Mitchell Hooper, and of course Thor Bjornsson lifted it twice.
Yeah, the stones, there was some controversy with stones. I think people forget how heavy these stones are. And unfortunately for Tom Stoltman, he went straight for the 270. 600 pound stone, just shy. Didn't lift it this time. He made the same mistake, I guess. It's a risk. You take the risk. It doesn't pay off. You look like you
People
got your
will have a
tactics
go
wrong.
about it.
You get it right, and
you're a hero.
And that's what happened with Austin Andrade. He went straight for the 550, got that rep, and beat guys like Mitch Hooper and Trey Mitchell. Thor Bjornsson, the only person to manage to lift it twice. I think we will eventually see that stone lifted if it's kept in the competition.
So out of the 30 athletes that have competed there so far, 15 have come away with individual event wins. So the most event wins right now belongs to Trey Mitchell, who's won 6. Amazingly, second place is Thor with 5, even though he's only competed there once so far.
It shows how strong Thor is.
Yeah, it really does. Last year, so close to that, last year we had Tom Stolman. He won 4 events last year and didn't win the competition. He only actually came 3rd.
Yeah.
But of course he zeroed on the log and then lost a few points in other events. So Mitch Hooper won the event this year with 9 points clear of second place, and that is the biggest points margin we've seen so far at this competition. The smallest was in 2022 when Trey Mitchell beat Brian Shaw by just 1 point.
So close.
So the youngest athlete to compete at the competition so far was back in 2020, and it was Alexei Novikov. He was 24 years and 10 months old.
You know, the amazing thing with Alexei is this year he was the youngest athlete in the contest.
I know, yes.
I want to see Alexei back to his best. Clearly, 16th place is not where you expect to see Alexei Novikov. 2020 was unbelievable. 2021. This year he has been struggling. Obviously, he's got a lot going on, but it's the elbow and bicep that are causing him the big issues. I feel he should probably take some time off, get himself fully fit. At 28 years old, you've got so much time still. But I feel if he just keeps competing, he might make things worse, yeah. And when you're as talented as someone like him, I mean, a few years ago we were talking about him dominating, and it just shows how the sport can change. But he's so young, he's so good. I want to see him back to his best. And yeah, 24 years old as the youngest athlete. He's one of the youngest ever to win World's Strongest Man. And even this year, competing at the Sha Classic, he was still the youngest athlete. Have that time off, get yourself fully repaired, and get yourself back to your best, because we want to see Alexei at his best.
So on the flip side, the oldest athlete to compete there was Zydrunas, and it was in 2022, and he was 47 years and 1 month old.
Yeah, when you think the oldest athlete this year was Ivor Schmoxtelis at 36, 47 is an old man in terms of strongman. Indeed, I mean, obviously Zydrunas, one of the greatest strongmen of all time. I think that the peak age for strongman is sort of like late 20s, early 30s. That seems to be the best, and you can kind of hold it into those 30s. There's a couple of guys.
There's some anomalies, isn't there? Like people who start early or start late.
Yes, of course, but for the most part. I mean, it's a question I often get asked, and when you just look at that lineup, 28 to 36 was the age range.
Yeah. So far, the most successful nation at the Strongest Man on Earth has been the USA, which has had 7 podium finishes in 5 years and 4 competition wins out of 5. In second place is Canada, which has had 5 podiums and 1 win. But every single year, both USA and Canada have been on that podium. First 2 years it was JF, and then 3 years for Mitch Hooper. And Brian and Trey have been on the podium every year up until this year. And this year we had Lucas Hatton on there.
Yeah, so obviously competitions in America, you're going to attract more Americans and Canadian athletes. However, they're all extremely good athletes. So yeah, not a surprise to see those names on there.
And also, like you said earlier, the Sha Classic Open, which has been running since 2022, offers the winner a qualifying spot to the Strongest Man on Earth. So the first time we saw that competition was won by Thomas Evans. And in 2023 at the Strongest Man on Earth, he placed 6th, which is very, very good. And then last year, the Sha Classic Open was won by Austin Andrade, and he competed in this year's show, and he placed 5th. And look at the names that they beat as well.
Yeah, they beat some fantastic names, and they're both doing exceptionally well. Both did well at World's Strongest Man, or have done well at the Arnolds and other shows. I mean, Thomas Evans has competed in a lot of major shows. Austin Andrade has been a brilliant find for strongman. And obviously the winner this year is Josh Spurgeon, who I coach, and I'm super proud of him. There's no pressure because Thomas came 6th, and then Austin came 5th, so naturally Josh is going to have to come 4th. No pressure, Josh, but we'll get training hard for it.
And we should give a shout out also to all of the Sha Classic Open competitors, because Josh Spurgeon won the Open Men, which qualifies him for next year's Pro Show. Melissa Peacock won the Women's Open competition.
I think Melissa felt she had something to prove, and she came in fantastic form.
Absolutely. Kira Rixon, she won the Women's Lightweight class.
Indeed.
And Alex Sukup won the men's under 105 competition.
Dominating performance by Alex. So yeah, fantastic results for all those athletes. Congratulations. The Sha Classic as a whole experience was fantastic. The Strongest Man on Earth continues to get better. I know there was a couple of things that Brian and his team would want to put better for next year, and I know people have discussed on various different topics, but as a whole, what a competition, what a weekend, and just great to see more of these big opportunities now in strongman. We've got, the Arnold Classic, World's Strongest Man, the Strongest Man on Earth, and the Rogue Invitational as 4 major shows, along with all the other fantastic shows like the Giants Live shows are brilliant. There's more and more opportunities for athletes to do this as a living, which I think is fantastic. Not everyone can just win the top prize. Athletes need opportunities to do other competitions, and we see that. We see like Evan Singleton winning competitions, the Champions League. You have Ivor Schmalkstillus, and you know, when you get all the top guys together in a few comps, it's almost becoming like tennis, where you've got the different majors.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're different types of competition as well. Yeah. This was brutal, absolutely brutally heavy.
So brutal.
You get other shows which are a bit more fitness orientated, other shows that focus on certain events.
Well, I was looking back to the first Sha Classic. So it was in 2020, obviously our COVID year. And it was only 10 athletes, only 6 events as well over 2 days. So if you look at the evolution, not just in terms of the competition itself, but the production, the fan experience. Like, I know there were issues that people were upset about, but I think...
I've never been to a competition where there wasn't something.
It's never perfect. And sometimes...
And the most important thing is that the promoters and the teams and all of us learn from it.
And Brian will.
To put it better next time.
Yeah.
Right, guys, we will be doing a live on Sunday. Please join us for that, because it's going to be a Strongest Man on Earth special, and then we'll get on to other competitions coming up this year. Hope you enjoyed the video. Do not forget, like, share and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time.